First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, thanks for joining us. Really do appreciate it. But you know, if you watch this show, it is Thursday at 1:30. Generally speaking, that means we're going to be joined by this guy. I don't really need to give a huge introduction because you know who it is. It's Eric. Eric Goranson from around the house Northwest. Eric, hello.
Hey, brother, how we doing today? Happy holidays.
Doing good. Yeah, same to you. You know, every week, you know, if people watch this, they know, or they've seen the clips, they've seen the different segments with you. You know, we get to go over some different tips, tricks. You've always got good advice for everybody, but this one I think is definitely pertinent right now.
No kidding. I mean, we all want to save a little bit of money, right? I mean,
Yes.
The bills are not getting less at this point.
No, they are not. I think, especially, you know, energy costs are always going up. So figuring out ways to save money, whatever that may be, is just so important. So that's why I'm excited to learn myself from what you're talking about today.
There's a lot of new technology that's out there, man, and it's really paying off. And the first one is you think about some of the biggest energy uses in your house, for instance, right? Heating water is one of the big ones. Outside of heating your home, that's probably the second energy cost that you're paying for, is keeping that water heater filled up with hot, beautiful water to take that shower, do the dishes and the laundry, or whatever else you're doing. And the be all end all for saving money is a heat pump water heater. And so I went from a 40-gallon gas to an 80-gallon heat pump water heater, and it's saving me about $250 a year in heating water, and I'm heating twice the amount.
Wow. So that's some huge savings right there.
It is, and there's a ton of great rebates out there as well, and some new ones coming at the end of the year. So it's definitely something to take a look at. But for it to heat water when it's in heat pump only mode, uses 500 watts of electricity. So it's super affordable to run. It's like, you know, 5 incandescent light bulbs back in the day when we had those. So that's what's heating the water. And it's just like a refrigerator that's on backwards, right? So it's a heat pump. So it's taking the heat out of the air around it and then putting it into the water. And the cool thing is they do have a backup system on it where, you know, if you got a family full of people and you're trying to use a lot of hot water because maybe there's 2 showers going, it has a backup unit, which is just like a regular 50-gallon water heater. But if you can keep it on heat pump only mode, because it takes a little longer to catch up, it's a great way to save money. And if you can get some of those rebates and then you're saving a few $100 a year, that adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely it does. Those rebates are huge too, so paying attention to those. But yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And you have the backup just in case that you need extra.
Yeah. So, and you know, holidays, you got people camping out at your house because the family's over, no big deal. You can go through and do it. So that's one right there. One of the next ones is paying attention to all those energy rebates that are around your house, you know, from insulation to, you know, like PGE has their peak time rebates and stuff. So we'll talk about some of the energy ones. Right now, there's a bunch of great rebates out there, you know, and you can find those over at Energy Trust of Oregon. There's ones up in Washington as well. But there's heat pump rebates. There's, you know, gas furnace rebates from some of the gas providers. So there's a lot of different things out there. But some of these new rebates that are coming out this year, especially that were part of that mandate that they got from the federal government, Oregon and Washington are just getting ready to roll out some new rebate programs, which are going to really help you. For instance, if you've got those window air conditioners or stuff, and you want to put in a central heating and cooling system or a mini split system, it's going to pay for a lot of the project for you, as well as maybe some extra insulation and things like that.
Very cool. I will definitely be checking out some of those. So that's Energy Trust of Oregon. You said that's where you go to find those?
Absolutely. And I mentioned PGE, for instance, you know, here in the Portland area, our power provider, they also have something that it's not a ton of money, but they have their peak time rebates. So they'll send out, if you sign up for this, doesn't cost you anything. Basically, when they say, hey, we've got a lot of energy usage, whether it's a heat, you know, bunch of heat or a bunch of cold coming in, and they're like, wow, we're getting a little low on power. They have these peak time rebates. So during that peak time, if you cut your power usage back, they'll actually give you $1 a kilowatt hour as a credit the next bill.
That's cool. That's good to know. So might as well. So that's something you can sign up for, and then and you said it's free to sign up for it, and then
it's free. And then you can control how much you want to cut back. You know, maybe you're doing the laundry a little bit differently, or you're washing the dishes a little bit later, those kind of things.
Cool. All right, that's really great to know. I mean, that sounds, free money back.
Yeah, those are good ones right there. Now, one of the bigger ones that's out there too is you think about if you have an electric dryer, right? That thing's running for an hour each load. It's got 220 power, so it's using a bunch of energy. There are new heat pump washers and dryers out there that are all combined in one, and now they're finally out. I think GE had them on sale at just about every place that carried GE, but it's an all-in-one unit. So it's a front load washer and dryer in one box for a couple grand. But here's the thing, there's a ton of rebates on them, and it only uses 110 power. So first off, it doesn't kick all that hot air outside because it recycles the air using heat pump technology. So all it's doing, instead of kicking all that hot air outside that you're wasting, this actually takes it and just dehumidifies it and leaves the hot air inside of there. And so there's not even a vent outside with this stuff. And it's just taking the lint and the moisture out of it and pumping it back into your drain system. So super efficient and a great way to go. And it uses so much less power. That thing, if you're having to go buy a new washer and dryer, I'd take a look at it. It's the wave of the future on saving money.
Wow. Yeah. And potential rebates on top of that too. So that's, again, taking advantage of the technology and the stuff that's out there.
Yeah. Other things you can do as well is, use your dishwasher. Don't hand wash those dishes because you're going to use so much more water if you hand wash them. So using the dishwasher correctly, and we've talked about it before, but not pre-rinsing those dishes, just scrape them off, put them in there with decent soap, and that should work great. Don't ever sit there and pre-wash them because you're going to have dirtier dishes at the end, but you're just wasting hot water at that point. And that's a big one.
Huge. All right. Well, these are all great tips. Anything else or?
Yeah, one last one. Take a look at some of the insulating rebates that are out there for insulating your home. There's two things. One, it's one of the only things you can do to your house. It's one of just a small handful that value-wise you'll get back instantly. So they say on average about 120% return on the value of your home. But then by insulating, you're getting that money back on your next power bill because you're using less energy. So if you've got an older house and you need to do some insulating, take a look at it, because I tell you what, there could be some great money back on it, and it'll put money back in your pocket down the road. One last thing that I've noticed, insulating sometimes isn't the best DIY project, because the last 2 or 3 times I ran numbers to go down to the home center and buy insulation and put it in, I could get it installed for less. So why go get itchy by doing it? Have somebody else do it for you and save some money.
Yeah, both of those things, because I've put some insulation in and I've ended up being that person picking it all off of me. Yeah, I'm all down with having some
brutal.
Well,
it's brutal.
It is. So, well, those are some great things that people can think about here to try to save some money and some great ideas. And I love the utilization of new tech, to do that as well. But I know we need to talk about this week's episode of Around the House.
You got it.
As always, you do so many different things for each episode. So I know we're only going to get a couple of teasers for this, but I am curious what you have.
Oh, man. So this one here, I tackled a semi-big project. And so I decided to build my own wood-fired pizza oven in my backyard. And it is absolutely amazing. I got a few weeks before I use it, but that was a pretty big pull. It's about a 25-hour build process. So I've been burning the midnight oil getting that done so we could get it in the show, because every week we're doing something different. So it wasn't something I could do and revisit. It's one of those projects, once you start, you kind of have to keep going with it. But I now have a wood-fired pizza oven that I can get up to about 900 degrees. And I got it out of Australia. It's pretty affordable, really, for what it is. I mean, it's a 4-foot by 4.5-foot dome style pizza oven that's plastered and stuff on the outside. That's really gorgeous. And it'll go up to about 900 degrees, which means I can cook about 4 pizzas in about 90 seconds.
90 seconds?
90
you throw it
seconds.
in there just from making it, throw it in 90 seconds, you got a fully cooked pizza.
You got it. And then you could cook a bunch of stuff on it. So I'm looking at it going, man, if I want to cook steaks in a cast iron pan or do some bread or do some, calzones or some other Italian stuff out there, I could throw that in outside and not have to heat my house up. So in the summertime, it's going to get used a lot for cooking, because one, it's going to actually save me some money and not have to, when you get the oven hot in the house in the middle of summer, you're paying to cool it. So it hits you twice. If you can do a little more cooking outside, it'll save you some money in the summertime.
Cool. So that's going to be part of the segment. So I'm excited to see what that even looks like. And then what else can you share with us?
So this is cool. We end up talking to a company called WABBOT. and they are super cool. It is something that attaches onto your phone, and it's like the Doppler radar for your wall. So you can see if there's electrical power, studs, rodents,
What?
whatever back there, because it will actually tell you what's in the wall behind it without having to open it up. So we're all used to the stud finders.
Yeah.
But this actually, when you go across there, it doesn't just beep and say, well, there's something back there. It actually says, that's a wood stud. That's a water pipe. That's electrical. That's a heating and cooling system, you know, that kind of stuff. So it actually tells you what's happening. So for me, I like it because my last house, I made a huge mistake using the stud finder. I was going across. There we go, putting the big screen TV up, right? Yeah, I didn't know that was a 3/4 inch water line that was in there. So when I hit that with the drill, water shot out, and I had that windows open because it was a nice spring day. It went out the other side of the living room and blew the screen out onto my deck.
Dang. Yeah.
So as I went running for the water. So yeah, that was my experience of the stud finder not working. So the WABBOT's pretty cool.
That's really cool. So you basically have X-ray vision, so you can see through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have another one here where we talk with guy Tony Nicolaitis about AI. So they have Wi-Fi sensing now. Have you seen this?
No.
So what it does is it's nothing that you have to add to your house, but it signs into your router, and instead of looking like you're in the latest Tom Cruise movie where they're breaking into a vault or something with all the lasers and stuff, it thinks of all the waves coming off of all your Wi-Fi, and if someone's walking through a room, it creates that shadow, and so it senses it. So the applications are for security, or if you're taking care of, maybe grandma, your mother, and it can say, hey, she hasn't left this room for 7 or 8 hours, or she hasn't left the living room in 4 hours. Is everything okay? So it's a new system that's using existing, technology that's in your house of the Wi-Fi signal. It's just looking for those things with all the data points and can see when somebody's walking around inside the house. And so it's a really cool, kind of safe way to use AI for the right instance.
Yeah, and it's already there anyway. I mean, the Wi-Fi is already happening, so you might as well just take advantage of what's there. That's really cool. That's really interesting. I'm excited to see that segment as well. So you've got some really good stuff this week. I mean, I know you always do.
Thanks, man.
But I mean, I love that. I love seeing new tech and how it's being utilized. That's awesome.
Yeah, and AI's gotten such a bad rap for a lot of legitimate reasons at times, there's also a lot of great things out there with it too.
Yeah, there are. I mean, you're right. There's bad use cases, but there's a lot of good that can come from that too. So that sounds like an awesome one. I don't want to spoil anything else. If there's
yeah, we'll just go with those. We've got a jam-packed show this weekend, and then as well as the following weekend, which I'm on vacation, but I still had to get the show done. So we've got a jam-packed one that week as well. So you won't see a best of show next week. There'll be a new one.
I like it. That's a lot of work to put out one that's not a best of. So I appreciate the double time that you're putting in for that. And just as always, to remind everybody where, when, and how to watch.
You got it. So tomorrow morning, you can watch last week's show. That'll be at 8 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus. And then Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on Fox 12 Plus is this episode we were just talking about. And then it will replay at 6 p.m. on Sunday. And then I did hear there's going to be a Christmas time as well. So if you're here around the house, there will be a time during Christmas. To be honest, I haven't looked when it is, but it'll be out on Christmas as well. So there'll be a special one there on Christmas Day. And then, of course, Friday, the replay.
Fantastic. All those opportunities. And plus on the YouTube channel for Fox 12 Oregon, hundreds of clips and segments, and all of the segments too with Eric here on this show as well. So you can check all of those out. Well, I know you're out next week, so have a great holiday and a great time off. You bring some time off.
It's my first time I've taken a week off in about a year, so it's I'm due.
Yeah, you're due. You're due. Well, have a good one, and as always, appreciate being on here. And for everybody watching, thanks for joining. If you're watching live, you'll see the YouTube and Facebook videos, and I've still got a little bit more on the website and the app, so good time to download the Fox 12 Oregon app and join me over there. But I think that's it. Eric, good to talk to you.
Happy holidays, brother.
Same to you. All right, thanks, everybody. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.